also YouTube. So we'll be live on three platforms. So first of all, Ashan, how you been? Like you're 8 weeks out of our competition and you're looking forward for it. And how's things been? Like all these people are like pushing their hearts out, like compete. And yeah,
Yes, I think this has to be the toughest uh, contest prep that I've been doing
yes,
because it's not that great around us, but still
yes,
I think we just have to put in the work. If you keep the focus and the consistency going on, you know uh, you will find ways to get things done. So
yes.
yeah, just taking one day at a time, and I'm pretty excited because it's after 2 years. So I think it's high time for us to get on stage, and even we can see how much we have improved over the years. So
Yes.
difficult, but very excited.
Yes, definitely. Because this whole process is very difficult. Not saying it's easy. Like it's
Yep.
more difficult for you guys than me, to be honest, because like you live in Sri Lanka and there's a lot of restrictions there, a lot of resistance, and the gyms were closed during like the Aurudu period. And these are the things
Yeah.
we work around as natural bodybuilders, and even and as a bodybuilder, like our slogan for IC in Sri Lanka is actually build a bodybuilder life. So that's something we live by, and that's something we are going to be living by in the future as well. So either way, enough about that. Like you guys will see a lot of athletes actually going to be dominating this year with regards to competing and so many other things this year. So that's something we are super excited about and something which you guys will see in the future. So moving on, like today's topic is something very interesting. So first of all, like if you actually see the reason, see the heading, it's actually three reasons why you don't lose weight on a deficit. So first of all, like let me answer this question. Like, do you can you gain weight on a calorie deficit? The short answer for that question is no, and no, and no. So some people do think like it's yes, but it happens because of certain mistakes they do. And today, like we actually came across like a lot of mistakes people do, and just gonna be keeping it to three today. And the topic today would be three reasons why you're not losing weight, losing fat on a calorie deficit. So first of all, like before we actually start this live, I just want to tell you like what calorie deficit is on in simple terms. So in simple terms, calorie deficit is calorie in and calorie out. So when the in is like when you eat food, and out is when you do activities. And these factors, like if the activities are higher than the food you take in, that creates a deficit. So in that process, in that terms, you need to be losing fat, right, Ashan? So that's something we actually been explaining to a lot of people. The reason why it doesn't happen has been like so many reasons. There's about 10 to 15 reasons we can come across with, but we are going to be shortening it out to three topics. So, number one reason would be the fact that you not being patient enough with the process. So, this is something Ashan can say about it, like because 3 days of dieting or 4 days of dieting, like commonly when we actually analyze the people who we consult with, who say, I've been being on a deficit for a long, long time, but I'm not losing weight. So when we actually like go into like deep details, like most of the time, like what we realize is that they either don't have patience or they haven't been consistent with the diet for at least 4 weeks. um, they haven't been on a deficit. They are overestimating the activities they do, and they are underestimating the food they eat. One example, Ashan will go ahead with more examples. Just I'm not going to tell the numbers right now, but just count like how much of calories are in for 20 grams of oil. Like just do a count like by yourself right now this moment, and like check how many calories are there. I'm not saying oil is bad or anything. I'm just saying you need to control certain things. And when we do not have oil in certain plan, or like when we do say like certain quantities, like let's say 10 grams or 5 grams or something more, it there's a reason behind it. So you must understand that. And there's a reason why we do all these changes in their meal plan. Sometimes you think like it's the same thing, but it's not the same thing if you do preps. Because during a prep, like one of the things we understand is when we have oil in a meal plan, that's actually like really golden for us, right? So that creates like a massive changes in our meal plans, right? That's something you can actually talk about, right, Ashan? Because you've been like prepping with me, and like I've been
Yeah,
prepping.
yeah, that's true. So, I mean, if we start off the topic, right? So, I'll actually go ahead with what you mentioned, consistency. So, this is what happens, I mean, if you start a diet, you got to be consistent and you got to be disciplined, because if that particular fact isn't there, you're not going to see results. And the other thing is, you actually have to be true to yourself, right? Most people, they say that they did it, they say that they did it for a very long time period, but in between, have you really been honest with yourself, and have you really been honest with your diet? This is what I see. I mean, now especially when we move into contest prep, right? There is no cheating, or there is no getting away from it. If you don't do it, you're definitely going to see that. And on stage, you're not going to be the best version of yourself. So you got to track your calories, right? And I think once you start this, you got to stay committed. Now you mentioned 4 weeks, but if someone asked me, I would say 8 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Because just stay for 8 weeks and see, right? How much of a difference that brings to your transformation, or how much you will change, right?
Yes.
And most people, they stick to the diet plan, but what they do is they keep snacking, right? They say that, okay, now what I've heard is they say that nuts is good. Okay, they say that nuts is healthy, so they keep on eating nuts, right?
Yes.
And after a while, they go nuts because they don't lose weight, because it has a lot of calories in it. It's
Yes.
a one of the best fat sources in the world, which you have to use correctly. That is the
Yes.
problem. That's why I ask you to remove nuts from my plan, because I go crazy
Yes.
when I get it, right?
And
So
just for your knowledge, just check how much of calories does 100 grams of nuts have, and
yeah,
that will give you an idea. I'm not going to say anything, I'm not going to give you details. Just check it yourself, and then you'll know what we are talking about. Does make sense. So sometimes
yeah,
it gives you like about like excess amount of calories where you actually count without with you do not count, and it will add up to your daily calories, and you don't even know that it's actually been added up, like you ate that and it's in your system. So it's not like if you think you've been on 1500 calories, it could turn up to be realistically could turn up to about 1000 or 500 more. So that's
yeah,
not actually a deficit in our book, right, Ashan? So that's something we
yeah,
need to add. And on the other hand, like what you need to know is activities. So when it comes to steps, one of the things, like from my personal experience, first I'll just tell you about that. So previous prep, I used the Fitbit watch. So now I'm using this watch. I don't trust both of them, but this will give me an idea, like to give me like this mental satisfaction. Okay, I did these steps like I'm supposed to do. God, I got to do 13,000 steps, and I'm like only 2,000 right now, but like I will actually
yeah,
walk
yeah,
more. But like just need to understand, like on the watch which I used before, even like this counts to steps, like when you do this. Because there was a time where we actually went on a trip, like last time when I was in Sri Lanka in 2019, was like we were inside the van the whole time to Noor Elia, like when we were going on that trip. And by the end of that trip, like I was inside the car the whole time, and I had 30,000 steps, and I didn't even walk
yeah,
whatsoever. There was 30,000 steps, and I did not know how it happened. Like only conclusion I could have come up with is like my hand moving like this, and the roads were like not the best. So when that was happening, like it was counting steps here. It wasn't happening on the. It doesn't happen on this because this is tracked with a GPRS. But like still, this will also say like even when I do 15,000 steps, sometimes it only says like I burned like 500 or 1,000 calories sometimes. So it's either an underestimation or an overestimation with this. So what you must, to be honest, like do is this: like you got to be honest to yourself in your fitness journey, like as to what you're doing. Just be honest to yourself, not to your, maybe not to your coach. Just be honest to yourself and just do that. Like be honest, stick to that deficit for a longer period of time. Do not add things like, if you add this much of oil, that's a lot of calories. Just do the calculation on Google, because we have like so many resources in this today's world. The other aspect of fat loss is the fact that like most of the people are like fully motivated at the start. The graph goes like this,
Yeah.
like at the start when you're losing weight, but then like suddenly the weight loss plateaus and this happens, and this happens, like, okay, I'm on the screen, so this happens. And this point, like, they are like, okay, shit, it's not working out, like, so I'm giving up. And then you, from this point, for you to like gain weight, if you're giving up, you're going to be on a surplus, you're going to binge, you're going to do all those things. And then when what happens is like it's only going to be a surplus, so you will say like, I've been on a deficit, and I still don't make progress. That's actually something you just tell yourself to just to justify the fact that like calorie deficit will make you gain weight. That's actually a thought process you have with yourself, so that's something you need to understand. Calorie deficit does not make you fat. That's something you need to know. Like, I think we proved that point, but in the future, if we have time, we'll actually bring up the remaining topics as well. And and the last topic we need, last thing I want to say about that part would be the fact that, okay, you didn't gain weight. Like, if you're 100 kilos or 150 kilos right now, that's a good place for you to start, but do not expect you to lose that weight within a week or even a month or even 3 months, like the entire weight, because you didn't gain that within a day or overnight or anything like that. You gained that like with so much of bad habits putting together. So this is where we actually tell you never to go on fat diets, not fat diets, because that's something you have done as well, right, Ashan? So
Yeah.
that's something
Yeah.
I have done as well in my my whole career. So that's something I have done. And where like I go on this diet, like a Superman diet, and just say like, these diets, the problem is it's not customized to you, and it's not gonna be sustainable, because you're only gonna focus on like dropping the weight like this. And like when you actually do a rapid loss like that, most of the time you do not end up like sustaining it. Like, you keep on like going back to where you started, and sometimes you end up going beyond that point, right? So biggest example I could come across, I think I kind of forgot what the example was, but like either way, these things where like you should not do in your fitness journey. And one of the things I understand, being overweight can be hard, but you must have patience in your fitness journey to have a permanent transformation. Because if you see the first the highlight pinned picture like on my transformation, that's actually Dasun Nadi. She's from Adelaide, and he actually lost the entire belly fat within 12 weeks. And that was the package he actually bought, was rapid transformation, to transform that in 12 weeks time. The good thing is he actually wants to go toward his next goal, and I checked up with him like 3 months later, and he has actually sustained it. Because the reason being, the diet we gave him, even though the program was rapid transformation, was quite flexible, something he could do like for like a long time, because the food he had was like quite amazing. Because when we started, the food we had was pretty restrictive, but now it's not 100% that. Now it's about like you enjoying the journey while you're actually making progress. Because at the end of the day, what's important is you fixing your habits and rituals, so that will actually make you have a lifestyle permanently. uh, is there anything you want to add, like, Ashan? Because the next topic is very going to be important as well.
Yeah, true. For what you said now, the example you brought in. So this guy did the transformation, and after a while he maintained it. So because he stuck to that diet, he was able to maintain what he gained. But we also have clients, who does a good transformation but gains everything back all over again, within months. So
Yes.
this is the story that we're actually explaining right now, right? So
Yes.
if you're on deficit, and if you continue to go on, if you continue to put in the work, right, the results you gained will stay with you. But yeah, but,
Yes.
but if someone is thinking that, okay, once this is done, everything is going to be fine after that, with whatever you do, that is actually not going to happen, right? So that is the first point. And the second point is, I think, patience. And even when we say rapid transformation, most people think that when we say rapid, it's like 1 or 2 weeks. No, even rapid means 12 weeks, right?
Yes.
So you got to be very patient, right? It's just that, not that people are not losing weight. It's just that they expect to lose 5 to 10 kilos in weeks, but some weeks it does not happen, right? Some weeks, you can call it a good week, and some days, now right now my scale is not moving, right?
Yes.
But I know, okay, because I've been in this field for a very long time. I know that my weight is going to drop one day. And also, I see that, my body is changing, even though the scale is not changing. So you
Yes.
got to be very patient. So because, life does not take the fat away from you the way you expect. Okay,
Yeah.
it happens, yeah, on its own way. So
Yeah.
patience, and you need to take time. How hard can you work when the scale is not moving? How hard can you keep working when you're not seeing the results you want to see? This is where the real transformation happens.
Yes, exactly. Patience is the key in any transformation. That's why we actually chose that reason, because patience is like what people don't have like these days.
Yeah.
So number two would be like the fact that, like, understand, like, sometimes in a quick fat loss journey, your fat loss is super fast at the start, and then it actually slows down, and people think like they give up from that point. The reason why it happens slows down is something called metabolic adaptation. And many people, when you say metabolism, they do not understand there's four components in it. They just say metabolism, just for the word. So you must understand there's four components in it. Like, one would be BMR, the second would be NEAT, which would be non-exercise activities, and three would be EAT, exercise activity thermogenesis, and the number four would be TEF, so thermic effect of food. So when you consider those four factors, what you must understand is BMR is something which will account to 60 to 70% of your metabolism, like for most people. And you processing this live is a part of BMR. So just understand that processing, like I'm saying, like these are what you need to understand on that. And the second thing would be NEAT, non-exercise activity. So remember, we tell you to do a lot of steps sometimes. This is actually unintentional activities, and where it actually accounts to 30% of your metabolism. And number three is the most important part, which is called, that means exercise activity thermogenesis. So this is actually intentional exercise. So when you do strength training, certain exercises you do, it actually accounts to 10 to 15% of your calorie expenditure. So this is where you need to understand, just doing exercises and not following the diet will not get you the results you want. Just understand that. Just remember EAT, the EAT. And the third one would be thermic effect of food. So this is actually where your calories burn you when you digest food. So this accounts to about only 5 to 10%. So what you must understand when you're on a plateau in a fitness journey is the fact that few things you can do is either weigh in daily. That's something we'd recommend. And number two, check pictures at least every 2 days a week. So that's what we do with competitors. Number three would be measurements. So if you do measurements, that will actually um, give you a better idea that you're still progressing, even on a deficit where your weight loss is still plateaued. And this thing which we are saying right now, like we said, like at the start, like this will take a long time if we actually tell you the entire story of this. We are only done with two of the three reasons, and it's about like 50 to 20 minutes already. So, but anyway, like we are moving to the third one. Third one would be the most important. Another important one is stress. So when you're dieting, one of the things you must understand is your body is going to go through stress, some sort of a stress. It's stressful, right? Like, nobody wants to like be restricted with their diet and like be on a deficit, like be all of that, like not the food they love and all of that. Like, these restrictions is kind of, so when you think about it, it's a sort of a stress. So
Yeah.
what you must understand is, like, when you're stressed out, your body will create a stress hormone called cortisol. So when that happens, it will elevate your stress levels and it will retain water. Understand, water. So when that happens, your scale might not move. So when the scale does not move, or maybe it's not fat you're gaining on a deficit. It's just water going up. So just understand, for a female, this process is different. Your weight will go like higher on, especially during the monthly cycle period. So this is something you need to understand during a fat loss journey. So that's the third reason I wanted to tell you, like, would be the water retention. So if you are stressed out like too much, there are a few things you can do in your fitness journey. You don't need to be on a deficit during that. So most of the time, what happens is when you're stressed out, you don't make progress, you gain weight, you end up going back into surplus by binging or giving up. Instead, do this. Go back to your maintenance, keep doing that for a period till that hard period is done, stressful period is done. So when you do that, you will be back on a deficit and you'll start making progress better. And number three would be maybe go for a walk, where you next maybe go for a walk just to clear your head, or maybe meditate. And the next one would be like, for us, that's actually very important, it would be like massages. So our bodies break like on a daily basis. So I go for like a lot of like massages, and I spend about 10 to 30 minutes on stretching, most of the day, foam rolling, a lot of things, because my body is like in pain like every fucking day sometimes. And it's horrible. And but this is something we got to do as competitors. So yeah, so I think we covered up all the top three reasons why, and it took 20 minutes. But anyway, I think we dropped all the value you guys needed, and thanks for the comments, guys. And if you guys got value out of this, and if you have any questions, you can actually get me directly, and I will be able to like answer them today. Yeah, so is there anything did I miss, Ashan? Like, I think we actually spoke about the whole entire topic, like why
Yeah,
you
yeah.
don't gain.
You
Yeah.
actually, yeah, you actually spoke about everything. It's just that you need to enjoy the process, right?
Yes.
Because we do have day-to-day stresses which we can't control. So the fat loss process, the workout, everything we do
Yeah.
to get rid of it. So the fat
Yes.
loss process, don't make it a stress, right? We are doing this to make our lives better.
Yeah.
So it's something
Enjoy
that
it.
you should enjoy, and you should do it on a daily basis.
Yes.
So that's how it is, because better you get, better you face life, better you face life situations, right? And
Yes.
also, as you said, recovery is very important as well. Just make sure that your sleep is on point. And recently, I think I'm actually spending more money on my recovery compared to the previous years, because not that we are getting any younger, right?
Yeah.
So that is important. So you need to relax, right? Because the fat loss process, your transformation is something you do to improve yourself and to get rid of your life stressors. So keep going, take one day at a time, because if you're honest with your journey, definitely the result should come, right? That's how it
Yes.
works.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I would end my explanation with that.
Yes, exactly. So the other last thing I want to add up is, like, for a wound, you can't put a plaster and expect it to heal. You need to put medicine into it. So something like that you can apply to this as well. So anyway, have a great day, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and we'll be coming with so many other topics in the future. Like we did not do lives for a few weeks, few months, because we were
Months, I
actually
guess.
relocating and so many things were going on. But now we actually are coming live on a regular basis and gonna give you guys value consistently. Have a great day, guys, and enjoy this and enjoy the rest of the day.